Guys, welcome to the Black Belt Barber podcast, the only podcast that will be talking about entrepreneurship for barbers and professional of our beauty industry. I'm Chico, I'm your host, and this podcast is about bringing relevant people that will bring relevant contents to the table, insights, experience, ideas to challenge you, think, challenge you to take you and make you get out of your comfort zone. So I have a special guest here today, PAPI Blends.
How are you? How are you? Thank you for having me. This is a total honor to be here, first of all. You guys know I've educated myself with you a lot, and we built this relationship that thankfully has been more than just student and teacher type stuff. It's been a great relationship, even though we might not talk always, we might not share phone calls always or text and none of that, but it's always the respect, there's always the support, the mutual support. So to me, it's an honor to be here today. So thank you guys for having me, and congratulations on this amazing project you guys have going on. It's I'm sure it's gonna bring a lot of value. It's gonna bring a lot of perspective of different minds, different barbers, different stylists. That it's gonna open new ways for other people. It's gonna motivate another people. So I am very honored to be here today.
Honor mine, man. That goes both ways. I've been following your journey, but before we start, before you sharing your journey, your story, for who are listening and watching, why Puppy? Why
Why
Puppy?
Poppy?
Yeah.
Honestly, man, it's this name. I never planned this name. This name, El Body Barber.
Uh huh.
I worked with him at my beginnings of my career, and he was the one that put me that name. When I walked in the barbershop he was working at, my Instagram was Henry Blends. Simple. He was like, first we got to change this name. This is not gonna take you nowhere. It's too simple. It's too much of a
Catchy.
bunch. So we need. He had put away the poppy part, but he already had his name building up, so he couldn't use it. He's like, here, I'm gonna give you this idea, and man, it's funny, it's catchy,
Fits your
it has a lot of
character.
things, and then throughout the years, people don't even call me Henry anymore. Everything is Poppy or Poppy Blends,
Poppy.
because it's just funny, you know what I'm saying? And now I'm known as Poppy Blends.
For me, it was very creative in a way. Uh, Before we start, I need you to share your story. Who is Poppy Blend? Where you coming from? Where you originally from?
Okay.
Talk about your family, your background.
Sure, yeah. Well, Poppy Blends, before Poppy Blends, there's Henry, you know? So I was born in Miami, actually. My mom is Brazilian. My dad is Honduran. And like I said, I was born here, but I grew up in Honduras. I grew up in a very small town. First, we lived a few years in the city. Then I grew up in a small town where life was completely different. Completely different. I'm talking about like no electricity, no pavement streets. We don't have the quality of life that we have in the United States, you know? So I come from a very poor, very third world country life, that I had to, at 12 years old, I had to wake up and go to work, find what to do. By night, I had to go find some wood so my mom could cook. We would eat the same thing almost every day. We didn't have phones. Kids didn't have phones. Our way of having fun was either going to the rivers, playing soccer, playing marbles, running around, and you know what I'm saying, doing third world country life things. So it was an amazing experience. I do not regret it, because I could say that today I will never stay stranded in life. Today I'll never stay stranded in life, because I lived a different type of life that I know that today nothing is impossible. First of all, I have never said this story before. Not everybody knows where I come from. Everybody thinks I say, yeah, I was born here and that's it. That's all everybody knows. But I come from a very, very, very poor, different lifestyle that not many people have seen.
It makes us care more. It makes us give more damn about it, what we got now. Be more grateful. I came from the from the countryside, like we call Hossa, is from a very poor family.
Yeah.
I relate a lot because we used to play marbles all day, soccer all day, No iPhones, no iPads, nothing back then. Just out there all day.
So to me now, you know what I'm saying? Now I'm back in my country where I was born. Obviously, as you were born here, people thinks that you're oh my God, you're everything. But no, you could be set back in life, you know what I'm saying? And to me, it wasn't a setback, though, because it taught me how to get through to actual life. Because now that I live in the United States, I see the difference. And I realize that so many people complain. So many people, "Oh, my phone is messing up." But you go to the store and grab one right quick. But over there, you don't have that. You don't even have, where I came from, we didn't have signal for phone. Nobody had phone. I lived in a small place that was probably like 50 houses. Everybody knew each other. Sundays was church. After church, it was soccer. And that was the fun. So that little segment in my life made me so much grateful for everything that I have now, that sometimes I sit in my car by myself when I have one of those super successful days, and I almost cry, because I'm like, damn, like, all that stuff that I lived in the past, and now I'm living this. I should be grateful. And even on my worst days, I take my mind back to what I lived, and I'm like, you know what? Like, I come from this, and today I have this. I shouldn't be crying, because there's still people living that type of lifestyle that I lived, and they don't have the opportunity to stand where we stand today, stand where I stand today. So me being here today, like, I can't complain. Everybody complains about stuff, but sometimes I complain and I check myself.
Well, it's great you sharing that, because not a lot of people know that about yourself.
Yeah.
I have a question for you. So your mom is Brazilian, right?
Yes.
What about your dad?
Honduran.
And that's why you live in Honduras for
And
a
that's
while.
why we moved into Honduras, because so my dad there used to be 4 brothers. 3 of them passed away. So my grandma was asking my dad, "Oh, come back, live with us, do this, do that." And we moved over there, and we moved to the city. And then in the city, my parents had a super horrible, how you saw fallback. They had a horrible fallback where the store that they had, it just broke. 120 on a Christmas, the electricity power went off and everything burned in the house. Like, it was something out of this world that we had to move out of the house.
Wow.
So it was more of a, what people don't believe in, voodoo or brujeria. I don't know how to, you know what I'm saying?
Voodoo,
Yeah. It was something, supposedly it was something like that, very, very bad. But,
Wow.
it's things that you live and learn, man, and then you appreciate where you stand today.
And how long did you stay living there? Like, when you came back to the US, how old were you?
When I came back, I was 16. I lived there for about 8 years, 9 years. Enough to teach me a thing, I used to work since I was 12. I learned how to drive when I was 11, stick shift.
Me too.
Driving throughout the mountains, the rivers, collecting sand to build blocks.
I learned how to drive in a tractor.
Oh yeah, that's the type of thing. I learned how to drive on a 94 Toyota pickup.
Well,
I couldn't even reach the pedals, but I used to put a little pillow in the back and let's make it happen,
wow. Short,
Sure,
young.
I'm still short, but we're getting there.
And what brought you back to the US? What
Well,
happened that brought you back?
So like I said, I was born here. So my aunt, I live with my aunt here, and I've currently lived with my aunt for almost my whole life as well. It was either there with my parents or here with my aunt, and she realized that I was born here. I wasn't doing anything over there. She had the chance to have me as since a short age, so she referred to my moms to send me back and get my life going, and it was probably one of the most things I'm grateful for my aunt for.
How old are you now?
I'm 28 now.
Wow. You went to school here?
Yeah, I went to high school. I came back when I was 16, 2009.
Wow.
Yeah.
Your aunt played a big part of
Big role. That's my mother.
Wow.
That's my
Is
mother.
she still alive?
Oh yeah. We still live together.
Oh, you still live together?
Yeah, of course.
That's cool. She cooks for you?
Oh, she cooks. She does my laundry. She does everything.
Oh,
You
Everything.
spoiled.
sweet.
I'm super spoiled.
Oh my God.
You're super spoiled.
I haven't had something from my mom for 20 years.
Oh yeah, I haven't had my mom either, but I had my aunt. So
Yeah,
it's
you are.
like that's probably why I don't miss my mom as much, But my mom should be coming back this year. She doesn't know it though.
She doesn't know she's coming back?
She doesn't
You
know.
didn't tell her she's coming
I
back?
haven't, as a surprise for her.
So she's in Brazil now.
She's in Brazil now.
Where does she live? Which state?
Minas Gerais.
Minas Gerais?
Oh, my state.
Ouro Branco.
Ouro Branco.
Sim.
Ouro Branco is, I think it's 4 hours from Governador Valadares.
Oh, I don't know.
You don't know Valadares?
No.
Oh, okay.
And
Only
what
been
ab-
there once.
What about your dad? Where
My-
he's at now?
My dad is in Spain now.
He's in Spain?
Yeah. My dad is in Spain now. He has another wife. And they moved to Spain and they're doing a life over there. But he's good, thankfully. My whole family. I also have a sister. My sister is 22, if I'm not mistaken.
Is your sister in Brazil or in
Yeah,
Spain?
she lives in Brazil with my
With
mom.
your mom.
They both live over there together. My sister is 22, my little baby.
Oh, yeah.
Yeah.
How many languages do you speak?
Well, man, I only speak English and Spanish. Portuguese was actually my first language. That's crazy. Was my first language. That's what we used to speak at home. And when we moved to Honduras, Portuguese just...
When we are speaking around you, I notice you understand everything.
Yeah, I understand a lot, but I won't... There's a lot of things that I will have to overthink them and be like, okay, that's what it means.
How do you would say Tico?
Chico.
Oi, tudo bem, Chico?
Tudo bom, Chico.
That's great, man. Look, do you remember when we first met at the TV show championship that was going to be
Yeah.
aired in Brazil?
I remember.
And actually, you own the championship to go in the States to go to Portugal.
The Portugal,
final.
yeah. That was pretty cool. It was a cool experience. First of all, for meeting you guys, and that day we met so many like beautiful souls, different people from the industry. It was dope, and it got to a point where it didn't even feel like a competition. It was just a sharing a moment, and fortunately, I got the win, and I had to, it was a crazy experience. We got to fly to Portugal, compete over there, so it was pretty cool. It was.
How was the...
I actually have a surprise for you. You never had the opportunity to see the video, right?
Which video?
Of the TV show
have
that
a
was
surprise
supposed
right
here.
to be
Yeah?
aired,
Yeah.
right? At the end, it was never
Yeah.
aired in the open channel TVs in Brazil, but I have a video we made. Do you want to see it?
Yeah.
Okay,
Oh, that's
so
pretty cool.
right there.
How was the feeling, Papi, competing with these different barbers in Portugal?
The feeling it was
from
cool.
other countries, right? All over.
It was
the
cool.
countries.
So it was a lot of people from other countries, like for example, Colombia, Argentina. I actually shared a room with the Argentinian guy. It was a lot of different countries, It was a lot of different visions, a lot of different perspective of the barber industry. So it was cool of meeting all these people, and competing was a little hectic because competing, the main key is having a good model. You're going to a whole different country where you don't even speak the language. You don't even have a model. You don't even know how to approach somebody to be like, hey, can you be my model for this competition? I'm trying to win this.
How did you find the model?
How did we find a model? So it ended up being a little mess because nobody had a model, but there was like 3 guys that were from Portugal. That video was cool, by the way.
You never saw, right?
No. There was like 3 guys that first they already looked sketchy as they walked in. They came in like with perfect models dressed up and everything. So everybody started wondering like, okay, what is this? Is you guys have this prepped? What is money laundry? I don't know. And so then everybody complained, and then decided to do all right, everybody, let's do a raffle. Whoever gets models, this model gets that model, But ended up being a little mess, Not on your side. You guys did an amazing job. And like we said on the phone, like, you don't even have idea of what really was going on over there. And it was literally like it was a little mess, but it was a fun experience. Just the fact that you get to travel to another country and meet other people. I actually made a very good connection with one Colombian kid out there. And we still, talk some crap on the Instagram and here and there, but it was cool. It was a cool experience. So
I think we always learn with those experiences.
Oh, yes,
we
of
never
course.
lose. Or either you learn, right, or you grow.
or you grow. Exactly. It's always a win-win.
Josh LaMonica was the judge there, right?
Yes.
And actually, we did the connection between Josh LaMonica and the people who was in control of the whole show.
Oh, okay.
And um,
How was the feeling
How
to
was the
be
feeling?
judged by
By
Josh
Josh
By Josh?
LaMonica?
yeah,
It was
he's watching you over there, and then you were nervous.
honestly, like he didn't vote too much in the whole company. Like he was there, he was the face of the thing, but he wasn't overlooking the models or that much. You know, he was just being the artist, just being the artist sitting in the corner. So at the beginning, it was like, damn, Josh LaMonica, you know, because at that point was when I was learning how to do scissors, and you know, Josh LaMonica is known for a lot of scissor work. So it was just like, damn, I gotta, you know what I'm saying, do try as much as try to bring my skills, that my little skills that I had at the moment. But it was cool. It was a feeling, you know. And then besides that, I had competed a few times before, so it wasn't as too much of a pressure, you know. I had been judged by big people before, so that helped a lot. But it was pretty cool to meeting him and meeting, like I said, meeting a lot other people from out in Portugal.
Did you take advantage of that trip and went around and get
Oh
to
yeah,
know
yeah. I
Portugal
got
a little?
So the guy that I was staying in the room, he was from Argentina,
Oh,
but he didn't want to go out. He didn't want to do nothing. And I'm not a person to be out social and talking and all that. So, but I was like, man, I'm out here. Probably, who knows if I ever come back to Portugal, because there's no reason for me to come back to Portugal. So I got one of those tour buses that had like 2 floors. And I just got on one of those and just stayed on the bus, looked around. You know, as soon as I got there, everybody's like, "Oh, be careful with pickpocketing. They'll leave your pockets empty, and you won't even know." I'm like, "Wow."
Wow.
Yeah, it's
I
like,
didn't know that about
yeah,
Portugal.
supposedly in Lisboa, it's a lot of pickpocketing. A lot. That people involve you and you're stuck. You lost everything, phone, everything. You didn't even know. So that's the first thing they told me. So I was like, all right, I'm not risking it. I'm getting on this bus, sitting right here. Whoever gets close, you better back up. And that's it. It was cool. I just went around. There was a big plaza full of people, full. Like, there wasn't room for no more people.
Wow.
But it was nice. It's different, you know. I love traveling.
Me too.
And who won the competition at the end? It was like a different countries competing. You're representing the US, so
US.
you're the winner of the US competition.
Yeah.
Who won?
Portugal.
Portugal? Okay.
Portugal.
What a coincidence, no?
What a coincidence.
Portugal. The guy that got there super late. That guy that, was just sitting relaxed,
think he
no
really won?
stressing. The guy that had the best model.
Wow.
Yeah.
Interesting.
Yeah, everything just,
I think the fact that he lived there was easier for him to find the model, and then
Yeah.
other competitors coming from other countries, how they gonna find the model?
Yeah, of
Wasn't
course.
Celso Barber, right?
Huh?
Wasn't Celso Barber, right?
No, Celso was a judge.
Oh, he was the judge.
Yeah. Oh, I made a good connection with him too.
Oh, yeah?
Damn, I just remembered.
He's a cool guy?
Very cool guy.
Oh.
Very nice guy. Humble. Yeah. He
So-
spoke English, I believe, or Spanish. One of the other.
Portuguese.
He's Brazilian.
He's Brazilian.
But he spoke Portuguese. I think it was Spanish that we spoke. That's why I was able to communicate with him.
Oh, okay. Maybe he thought you were Hispanic.
Yeah.
But
You were mixed
You
up
are.
of all.
Yeah, I don't know where I'm from. I'm all over the place.
So how do you become level 3 ambassador? Did they send you a letter? Did they call you? Someone invite you? Grab your hands and this is the man.
Honestly, man, it's what I tell a lot of people when I go to classes, when I do stuff like that. People always ask me the same question, and I just give them a quick answer. But this has taken a lot of investment, a lot of time, a lot of dedication. It's not just that I am PAPI BLENDZZ and level 3 decided, let's pick up this guy. How I started opening this door was investing in myself. A lot of people ask me, what's your motivational words? I say invest. I had the opportunity to fly out to Puerto Rico to network with these people. To me, that's an investment, because it would have been somebody else like, nah, what am I going to do in Puerto Rico? But I saw the vision, I saw the opportunity, and I was like, all right, if I put out some money out of my pocket, pay for my flight, pay for my ticket, pay for my hotel, then I could come and network with these people, show face, shake hands. And I created, so like I said, I had worked with Bori at the beginning, and he was ambassador for Elegance at the moment which is almost the same thing as level 3 now. And he was ambassador, and he would tell me like, oh, let's go, and he would tell like 3 other people as well, and nobody saw the vision, nobody saw the opportunity in it. And I was like, all right, cool, I'll go grab my own plane ticket, my own hotel, and let's go. We go together. And I was fortunate to have that hand over there. But you could say Bori, did a big part of myself, but I did a big part of myself as well, from stepping out of my comfort zone, investing the little bit of money I had as the beginning of my career to go out and network and open these doors. You know what I mean? At the moment, maybe I wanted to be an ambassador too, but I didn't have what it took. But I always understood that patience and keep investing and keep moving and keep building relationship was eventually going to take me there one day.
You said you took one of my classes, and we met back then in 2018. I've been following you.
Yeah.
I know your journey. I know your story. I can tell you're hustling. You're always hungry for education. You're always meeting people. You're always connecting with people. I saw you all over you. Saw you at the seminars, workshop. Always there, man. Always giving yourself a chance to connect with people. I think one of the most important thing in life is, the most important asset we have is connection.
Building relationships.
And I see you out there. So, and actually, I'm happy for you.
Thank you.
From the bottom of my heart, that's genuine right now.
All the events we've been to,
I
Papi
see
was there.
He's there.
We go to Connecticut for the Rise of Hair, Papi's there. We go to this barber battle, Papi's there. He was everywhere.
But that's what people don't understand.
That's what people don't understand, and that's why when people ask me, "Oh, what's the motivation?" and you ask anybody, "Oh, just stay consistent." My motivational word is investment, because my investments was going to these shows, like you say. It takes a lot of money.
Yes.
Between flights, hotels, food.
And you don't work.
Yes. You know what I mean? And that was at the beginning of my careers, when I didn't have the clientele that I have now. I was probably making less than $500 a week, probably cutting 10 people a week. But I had the vision. I had the hungry, and I still am hungry to keep learning and keep evolving, and day by day, thankfully, I've been knowing what to do, what not to do. And investing has been my biggest friend. Because like I tell people, like people tell me, oh, how you take these amazing pictures, how you do this, how you do that. Sorry. How you take these pictures, how you do that. Investing. One of my first investment was a camera. I didn't know how to use it, but I went on OfferUp. I couldn't afford a new one, but I bought a used one because I was using a friend's. But it was a mission. Every time I wanted to get a picture, I would take a picture, but I'll get it like a week later. So I was like, you know what? I'm gonna save up $600 out of my beginning, my first year, and I bought myself a camera. I was shooting, then I invested in learning how to use the camera.
That's amazing subject you brought it up, because I saw you always invest in a big shot, in a good picture to promote yourself in social media since I know you.
So if you think about it, we have a free social media we could promote ourselves in.
All this platform for free.
Yeah, you don't have to pay for it. Now you got to pay for your shots. You got to educate yourself. You got to master how to take these shots. You got to master your craft, how to do a good haircut. Got to do all that. But you got to take advantage of it. But some people don't see it. Some people actually used to tell me at the beginning, oh, how you going to spend so much money on such an expensive camera? I'm like, man, take it easy, bro. I know what I'm doing, Because it's the vision that I have, because I realize that that's a way of us promoting ourselves and growing. And another thing that opened that vision for me, I was coming from working 6 years straight on a restaurant business to becoming a barber. So I went from making $15 to $2,000 a week to making $200 a week. I had to give up my car because I couldn't afford paying a car. I had to ride a bike to the thing. So that made me realize a lot of things. How can I get my business going faster? So I was getting a camera, because nobody knew I was a barber in my first year. None of my friends. And yeah, we had iPhones. I was taking pictures with iPhones.
You
But we
use what
can't
you got in your hands, right?
I made it happen with what I had, but always keeping in mind that I want to evolve more and more and more.
But let me see if I understood. Hold on. Let's go for parts.
Okay.
So, before we go into the subject of the level 3, so you were working in a restaurant. And then how did you decide, oh, I'll go to barber school or I want to cut some hair? What made you
Not w-
decide
Barber.
to?
Not wanting to work in restaurants anymore.
That's a good answer.
What was the first thing you done?
So the first thing, I used to, first of all, I used to cut my hair for a very long time.
By yourself in a mirror?
For myself, yeah.
2 mirrors?
2 mirrors, or you used to have a little open ones that open,
Oh.
so I'll put my head in between and just start, fading myself. I actually used to do a nice face to myself. Now, till today, I still cut my own hair.
Wow.
Yeah.
Did you work at any shop before?
So,
Any barber
I
shop?
got stuck. Hold on.
Oh, okay.
You're talking about cutting your own hair?
Yeah, so I
with
was
the
cutting my
mirror?
own hair, and then all my friends would tell me, like, hey, if you cut your own hair, you could do a lot of stuff to us, So why not? So I kept trying to my friends until one day, right after the restaurant business, I started doing Uber. Wow, I was skipping this whole story.
That's why she brought it up.
Yeah, so
Let's go for parts. Like, from the
I'm going
beginning.
to tell you from the beginning how I became a barber.
Go.
Because,
let's start.
So right after the restaurant business, I started doing Uber. Uber was giving a lot of money, and I went about 6 months doing Uber until Uber started coming to an end. Not to an end, but to an end as like financially. It was not giving the same as money as I was giving when I first started.
Which year was that?
That was 2016, 2015, around there.
Okay.
Because I dedicated to the barber 2017. So it was 2016, 2017. I started doing Uber, and then, like I said, Uber started becoming to an end. I started finding sources of how to cut hair, how to get into it. And I announced to all my friends, I'm like, hey, I'm gonna be cutting hair at home for $10. Whenever you guys want to pass by, I'll be here. I bought some clippers. I was still cutting hair in my house. I was still doing Uber at the time as well, and I started getting super booked, but I kept doing Uber. And then one day I picked up a guy that was actually, so that same day I was going to buy some clippers, used clippers from Offer. Mind you, I didn't know nothing about barbershop. I didn't know nothing. I didn't know about shaving gel. I had no idea about anything. I was buying some clippers because there were clippers to cut hair, and they said Wall and Andis on them. On Offer Up.
That's interesting.
I remember I got a master, Andis master, and I got a balding, the balding clipper, but the actual clipper from Wall, that red one, which didn't even have a lever on it. And with that, and then that same day that I was giving my last ride, that I was doing my last ride of the day, I pick up a guy. He was going from South Beach all the way to Color Bay, which it was like an hour ride. As I'm putting the guy in the car and picking up his bags, there's a cool care sticking out the bag, and another like a spray bottle. And I had that doubt in my head, and I'm like, damn, like, is this guy a barber? And then I asked him, I'm not super, at that moment I wasn't a super talkative person. Now I am. I had to open up, and I asked him, I'm like, hey, like, are you a barber? He's like, yeah. How you know? He's like, oh, because, your barber tools are sticking out your bag. So I figured. So I started telling him my story, man. And we had an hour of conversation. This guy gave me the speech that changed my whole life.
What was it?
The speech that he made me understand what the barber industry was and why did I have to be a barber. So that was like the last push I needed to me actually give it a try. His name is Jovan. Till today, we're still homies.
Well, what was the speech?
Like 6 days later. It was literally just a conversation about, hey, well, what do you think about the barber industry? Because I always had a perspective that the barber industry was a street job, somebody that came out of jail and could grab a clippers and become somebody, or just cut hair, not even become somebody, just cut hair. So I always had that perspective of it until that guy came and made me understood that this wasn't that this was something where you could be so big that if you gave it your heart it was gonna happen. You know.
You know how much we as a barber can contribute with the community?
Yes.
Oh my gosh.
Tell me how Can Barbers go out of business?
Tell me.
I can't tell you. It's impossible for a barber to go out of business unless he break his hands.
Yes. You can cut hair in every single country in this planet,
Anywhere.
anywhere. And it's a beautiful industry.
Yeah.
Gives opportunity to many.
So
I
after,
say hair is it's kind of, I would say hair is a language.
yeah.
The language of hair. We don't need to speak the same language, but hair speaks for itself anywhere you go, anywhere in the world. If you go to China, you don't speak Chinese, but you speak hair
You speak hair.
and you
Yeah.
can work.
That's a great
People
way
will
to
understand.
explain.
People will always understand. So yeah, I dropped off the guy, picked up my clippers, continued cutting hair at home with a lot of more motivation, a lot of more dedication. And then it got to a point where, man, I was too busy and I found a shop to work at. Little Cuban shop. It looked like a house. It was like 6, 7 chairs in there. Cuban music playing all there, but I was grateful that I was there. And it got to a point where what the guy had told me about the barber industry wasn't becoming reality because the type of barbershop I was working in. It was a how you call that, a place where people just come, gets haircut, and keep going. You know, there was just nonstop, no future, no vision. It's just cut hair and let's go. So a month in, I started getting frustrated again, you know, because my bills I still hadn't adjusted from $2,000 a week to $200, $300 a week. So I was, you know, at 22, 23 years old, I was frustrated. I didn't know what to do. I needed to pay my bills. My aunt was holding down the house. I couldn't continue paying bills because my income wasn't all that.
How much was the haircut at this place?
$12,
$12.
and I was taking away 40%.
Wow.
So imagine, I was
Wow.
coming home with $9. I wasn't that experienced barber. I was taking an hour per cut. How many cuts could I do at $9 a
But
day?
We always start somewhere, right? With me, it was
Yeah.
the same. I was getting 60% of a $15. So I had to work a lot to make
Yeah.
at least $300 a week.
Imagine. I don't know what position you stand, but I was coming from cutting in my house in a small chair that by 3 clients, my back was giving up. By 3 clients, my back was giving up. So when I could walk in this barbershop, I have no experience. I don't know what shaving gel is. I don't know what tools to use to make my craft better. And then I'm around a whole bunch of barbers that all they used was one clipper. So I didn't have no motivation. So a month later, I'm like, all right, I can't do this. My bills are, what am I going to live up under a bridge? I give my 2 weeks notice. You know, me coming from barbers don't give no 2-week notice. They just walk out.
You just walk
And me being a professional, I was like, oh, 2-week notice, I can't do this no more. 2 weeks, I'm out of here. The last day of me, that it was my time to leave, they called me from another barbershop, Lilo Fresh.
Wow.
Yo, you have a chair here. And I'm like, who's this? He's like, oh, this is Lilo. And somebody came and recommended you here, and we have a chair for you. And that was the barbershop I always wanted to work at. But I never went, never showed face because I was scared. I didn't have no idea. I didn't have a license. I didn't know nothing. And they called me. So I literally say this was made for me, you know? This was meant for me. Because every time I decided to quit, it was something that was like, no, keep going. So at this point, my second phone call where they're like, hey, we have a chair for you. I'm like, all right, I can't give up no more.
Wow.
You're thinking about going back to Uber or to restaurant? What was your thought at that time?
My thought was doing anything. I applied at supermarkets. I at my Uber I couldn't do it because I couldn't afford my insurance anymore because I wasn't making as much money anymore. Uber wasn't making as much, so it was either my car payment or the insurance or my rent or whatever, you know. And I applied at new restaurants. I applied at supermarkets. I was applying at anything I found. And then that phone call came through, and it's just like I was like right there. I sat down and I was like, this is meant for me, you know. And from there on, everything just completely took off. Everything was just smacking me in the head. So one day I had to decide, and I was like, man, I'm just gonna take every opportunity that comes my way.
And how did you end up working with Body? How did you met him? How
He
was
worked at that barbershop that they called me for.
okay?
He
the
used
second.
the second
Legal.
one. Yeah, the second one. The second one. Every known barber from Miami was working at that shop at the moment. Not every known barber, but Bodie was one of the big coming ups from Miami, and he worked at that shop.
At that time, Body was already with Elegance or no?
He was actually, I believe he was with, he had just gotten with Elegance. Bodie, mind you, Bodie has right now almost 600,000 followers. I met Bodie when he was at 40.
I met you when you were like 25,
I have no idea.
back in 2018.
Nah, I was less than 25.
Wow.
Way
You know
less
what's
than 25.
interesting? You participated in the championship, and then you were working as a barber for what, a year? And then you
year.
When
jumped
was
into
when was the championship?
2018.
18.
Oh yeah, so I was
2017.
it was for a year.
And then you just jump in a
And I asked,
world competition.
I
It's
asked you, how long
crazy.
you been in it? I asked you, I remember that day I asked you, how long you are in the industry? You say 1 year. I say, wow.
Yeah,
You already knew how to hold the
2017.
shears correctly. You knew what you were doing, you know?
Yeah.
I think you got the gift.
And you
Yeah,
won.
I was good.
I'm sure you got the gift. And you won.
You
Yeah.
won the US
Since
competition.
2017 is when I was like full dedicated to this. So we could say the beginnings of 2017. So yeah, a year and a half.
That's
That's crazy.
impressive.
Just what? You came with the camera behind under your arm, the little camera to take.
Oh
a
yeah,
picture.
that was my
I
little
saw
camera.
it. That
Yeah.
was your baby, right?
That was my baby.
Let's make you.
No, now my bag is just a lot more things.
Lot
now.
of more stuff.
Yeah, now I have a computer, iPad. I have like a camera. I have like 10 lenses. This is a whole bunch of, a lot of, like I said, investments, man.
And after that shop, what happened? So you were there, you met Bori, it was an amazing.
Well, there was my biggest growth. I learned how to cut hair. So Lilo Fresh was up. He's an amazing barber. He just has his family. He's not worried about what I'm worried about, growing on Instagram or being sponsored. He's worried about his barbershop and he's worried about his family. But he's an amazing barber. So I can say he was one of the biggest influences that taught me how to cut hair, how to do a fade, how to do a beard, how to use color, how to like beard colors and stuff like that. And then Bodhi's side, he taught me a lot of the marketing side, of the Instagram side, of why a picture is important, why this, why that. And between both, we started figuring out a lot of things, how to edit pictures, how to do this, how to take pictures, how to actually use a blank background for a photo and stuff like that. And we started traveling together and learning together. But those two had been my first biggest influence, as my craft.
I think we all have people in our lives, like a mentors, people that is your role model.
Yeah.
I have few guys that I admire them and I learned from them so much by just like watching from far and learn from them. It doesn't have the mentor have to be right next to you.
No.
You can just follow them on Instagram, to just take one of their courses or watch them on.
Yeah, of course. And then
And
after that, like, I came and educated myself with you. Mind you, I had never taken a scissor class, but I was interested in learning how to use these scissors. So I came and, you became one of my other mentors because after
you.
that is when I started actually applying scissors to everything. Until today, I have never taken any other class of scissors. I seen people work scissors and stuff like that, but an actual class that how we did it, like a whole day, mannequins, hands-on, it was with you. So, as you go, you start, more people start becoming more involved in your growth and your career. So it's pretty cool.
back then, when you took the class, I saw how humble you are.
Thank you.
I think our industry has so much ego.
Yeah,
Ego
ego.
has so much ego that we don't allow ourselves to learn from others. We
from
can learn
others.
from anybody.
Because it's like like I was thinking this morning, and I posted it today, that don't let yourself go by popularity. Don't confuse popularity and skills. Because there's a lot of people with skills that don't have the popularity. And there's a lot of people with popularity that don't have the skills.
Great.
You
Yeah.
get what I mean?
I got
So
you.
you
Sure.
could have the popularity, you could have the followers, you could have the love from the industry. But what are you putting out? But then you have you, that you're a beast with the scissors, that you might not have all those followers, but you have your success on your side. Your barbershop, this where we're sitting right now, you know where you're able to give. You've been educating, I don't know how many students now. You know what I'm saying? So that's why I have respect for everybody, but when somebody is skilled, I even have more respect for that person.
Me too.
I learned that popularity and followers are not everything, you know?
Wow.
Followers add up to your stuff. Followers will give you a better image. People, oh my God, look at this. He has followers. Because a lot of people come. I lose a lot of clients because a lot of clients think that because I have 50,000 followers that I'm untouchable. I'm like, no, man, I'm a normal person. I'm going to treat anybody that sits in my chair the same. Just like I'm not more than you, you're not more than me. We all the same.
Wow. That's great to hear that from you. Wow. I'm amazed here.
And then tell me about level 3. So you were
Okay, now we can move into level 3.
Yeah, I'm interested to know how you become like
Yeah.
an ambassador, an
So-
educator. That's interesting.
So I had cut it off earlier, but like I said, investing because I started building these relationships and flying to events where I was shaking hands and becoming the person I am today. It took shaking hands and building that relationships, like you said, is very important. So, and then also, like you guys said, any event you guys attended, I was there, right? Shaking hands and building relationships. So it got to a point where my content on Instagram started becoming a lot better. And then, like you guys seen my growth, they started seeing my growth, especially A-Rod, because who got me in was A-Rod. So one day, I was flying to Chicago, and you know, at this point, they were already family, we were already homies. We had shared so many events together, so many houses, hotels, everything. Like we had ate in the same table and everything. And so they had just come up with level 3. Elegance have done, and then level 3 came up. They opened a whole new warehouse, a whole new store up in Chicago. They're based out of Chicago, and I'm like, hey, Rod, yo, I'm coming to Chicago. You know, I would love to stop by the base and check it out, see how it is, because you know I've been with y'all for a long time, and I would love to see how it goes. And as you guys know, I've been doing a lot of color stuff, and A-Rod just tells me like, oh, you want to do a collaboration? And I'm like, wait, what? That was literally last year. Let's do. He's like, I'm like, you sure? Like, you want to do a collaboration? He's like, yeah, let's do it, bro.
Tell me that feeling.
Oh, that feeling was amazing. At the moment he told me that was amazing, but then his wife was pregnant.
For the second child?
Yeah, for the second child, and she was due the day that we were gonna do the collaboration. So he
Whoa.
tells me, bro, my wife is due one of those days that we're gonna do the collaboration. So it's in the limbo. We don't know. Maybe she's due before. Maybe she's not due. Whatever. She gave birth a week before. Before I was going up there, so we were able to do the collaboration. And I brought my everything. You know, I brought what I know how to do. We didn't have a model. We picked a model the day before, and we just executed.
Where was this? It was in LA. He lives in LA, right?
No, in Chicago.
He lives in Chicago.
Yeah,
So that's where you
that's where
traveled there.
I traveled there for
you
vacation.
paid your expenses.
I paid everything. Everything. It was on me. I was going to Chicago for vacation,
Okay.
and I ended up going to work.
Wow.
I ended up going to work, and that they saw. I guess they saw the potential. They saw what I had to offer for them, and they gave me the opportunity. The second time, they were like, "Hey, you want to come into Chicago? We could have a talk," and it became a thing. You know, it was a crazy thing. That's why I say that time matters a lot, because they were gonna sign me when it was with Elegance, because I went to a competition. It was the same thing as the world champion thing. I went to a competition in Puerto Rico because they were looking for one more ambassador, and I competed. And I didn't win the competition, but Jay pulled me to the side. He's like, hey, you're amazing. I'm going to get you on the team.
Whoa.
But that didn't happen. And I was sad. But then later I realized, I'm like, man, this is not meant for me.
Wow.
And now that I signed with level 3, it's like, you know, this is the time. Because now I'm actually getting an opportunity to shine. I master my craft more. I know what I'm doing. I know what I deliver. And I know how to execute my work. And everything that I've learned throughout the years have put me in this position now, because this is the right position to be on now.
Do you feel more prepared? Do you
Yeah,
feel like
oh
it's
yeah,
good that
of course.
at that time it didn't happen and it happened?
I am super
No.
happy that
months
didn't
ago.
happen that time. I am super happy because now maybe I'm not 100% prepared. There's always more you can learn,
Always.
but right now I'm a lot more prepared than that time. A lot more. I was sad at the moment, but now that I signed with level 3, I'm like, thankfully it never happened.
But what happened between Elegance and level 3? I never understood what happened.
So it was two different. It was two different owners. So now Jay and A Rod they actually own level 3, but back then they were just like U.S. Representatives of Elegance. So they had a little misfall, and then they decided to open their own stuff now. So it's pretty much the same vibe, same family, same everything, just a different name.
But Elegance doesn't exist anymore.
Elegance exists
They still exist?
They
Because
still
they
exist.
disappeared from the market. I don't see them anymore.
because it was Jay and A Rod doing their thing.
Okay.
They were the ones keeping it up, and then it got to a point where I guess they saw the value in themselves, and they're like, oh, we got to invest in ourselves. Why are we making somebody else money and noticed? Let's do it for ourselves. And I believe, they came up with level 3, and now, honestly, level 3 is probably one of the most successful companies right now in the industry.
That's
And
what
they
I was
just-
going to say.
And I seen these animals work, man. I just see them from afar and keep motivating myself, and I see them work and have meetings. Jay doesn't hop off a plane every time he's on a plane. He's going to Turkey. He's going to here. He's going there. He's going there, and trying to figure it out and come up with a new product and do this, do that, master this product. And it's just crazy the amount of work that is done behind all this,
Wow.
And I see it, and I'm like, damn, like these guys deserve that.
I think that's the only way, Papi.
That's the only way.
That's the only way.
That's the only way. Because like I was telling her yesterday, I spent 6 hours in the shop doing a hairstyle for a minute reel.
You see? For 60
6 hours.
seconds.
For 60 seconds.
Second
60
video.
second reel.
60-second reel.
Yeah, there's a lot of work behind the scenes that
You
no
know?
one
Obviously,
sees,
there's
right?
a lot more that comes behind this reel, but that's what people see. So people, oh, look, a cool video. But they don't see that I was there stuck for 6 hours.
As an ambassador, you know what I really think? As an ambassador, educator, or teacher, our duty and purpose, I think you found your purpose and direction, man, something that you really love. But our duty and purpose is to bring value to other people,
Of
to
course.
lifting people, to help others. You agree with that?
I agree with that. So when I step on a stage, first thing I say, I'm not more than you, you're not more than me. I'm here to share my knowledge, share what I learned back then. You know what I mean?
Of course.
So my purpose is to keep what you taught me, I keep teaching it to the next one. And I hope that the next one could teach it to the next one.
Passing it on, right?
And that's what it's about, being an ambassador, being an educator. It's about that, just bringing value to the rest and educating more, because there's always students that are coming up. There's always people that are bigger than you.
What is the phrase of?
I think if you can't sit in the first row as a student, you'll never be able to be on the stage as a teacher, because first you should be a student.
Yeah.
And be humble to be a student.
You always should be a student. Till today, I learned so much, man. Like, now is when I actually feel more of a student.
I think like she's saying, to be able to be a teacher or educator, you need
Yeah.
to sit down and then you stand up to teach.
Yeah. It's not easy, man.
Not easy.
Some people think, oh, it's nice. Look, it's nice. It's not easy, man. So you get so many people that just throws tomatoes at you when you're on that stage. Some people that literally just come and make your life impossible. Just literally come and ask slick questions, and you got to answer everything. So a lot of people don't see that. So that's why when I go on stage, my first thing is, I'm here to share my techniques. I'm not here to teach you how to do this. I'm
Share
here.
what you learn.
I'm here to share what I learned, what I know. And if you have questions on what I know, I'll answer you. If I don't know what you're asking me, I can't answer you because I don't know it.
If you have the time that you can research, you can come back with the answer.
Yeah.
Right?
But yeah, because we don't know it all. But there's always I do color. And a lot of people will come at me with some super technical questions that I'm like, My colors are simple. I'm not doing that type of color right there. You know, mine is bleach a number 2 on top. They bleach it and paint on it. I could teach you how I do it, what I use, but I'm not a technical, one of those super educated persons in color yet. You know what I mean? So that's why when I step on stage, I'm like, I'm here to share what I know.
Man, I can't do what you do. Drawing,
There's a lot of patience.
and have the vision. What's
It's an
gonna
art.
be creative? That's an art.
Yeah, it is.
It's like painting.
And that's another thing.
Canva.
I don't know how I ended up doing it. But I'm just a very curious person. I'm very curious. It's like the cameras. Now I'm super into photography. Super. If you go to my studio looks like a photography studio, not even like a barbershop. There's a light over here. There's 4 backdrops. There's lights everywhere coming here. Like when I transform I have a small studio, probably just a bit bigger than this, but high ceilings. And that's where I execute everything I have. And this is not so big. Mine is just like a little bit more big, like nothing, like probably 2 feet.
Wow.
Yeah. But there it looks like a photography studio. So I've always been curious. And then when the color things came around, I realized, oh, let me learn this. But I realized not everybody was doing that in the industry. So I grabbed onto that branch and I was like, I'm gonna stay there because not many people is doing it. So I already had mastered how to fade, how to do scissors more or less. I already mastered how to take a picture. So now what can I add to those things? So I was like, let me add the colors. And I started drawing.
But since that is an art, you need to be an artist. To
An
do
artist.
It. I think so.
Yeah.
I don't think you just learn how to draw anything and then
No,
you
yeah,
create
yeah.
all the things that you create. It's amazing.
Yeah,
you,
there's
you
something.
see something before you start bleaching.
Yeah, of course.
You know, you see how it will come out. I can't.
You can't, yeah.
For me, it's.
It's like I was showing her like at this job I did yesterday.
Let me see.
And before I even started it, I just
Wow.
It's a piece of art.
It's a piece of art.
It's,
Oh, it's right here.
it's so artistic. Like
Yeah, I did that yesterday. 6 hours.
Wow. That was the.
And
most
I'm still not done, you know. I still got more pictures like
it's
Wow.
impressive.
yeah.
It's amazing, man. That's an art.
So I decided I'm like, man, let's grab onto this color stuff. So here we are today.
So that's for artists. So I have a curious question. You don't need to answer if you don't want, and you don't need to give details in numbers. How it does work with those big brands? You have a contract with them. How they pay you? You don't have to say numbers.
Okay. No, it's cool.
How that
They
works?
pay you like a salary or a
Or a
commission.
commission.
How does it work?
So this is my first ever contract. And then I'm sure there's a lot of different contracts, but the most common one is you get a contract, you know. So for example, right now I have a contract where I have to submit 3 videos a month. Obviously content creating and promoting their thing. I get a certain amount of days a year that I have to that I belong to the company, for example, events and stuff like that. So I'm contracted. That's part of the contract as well. I get paid per day that I'm with them, and I also get paid for every video that I submit. And then also, you cannot be sponsored by any other product company. You could be sponsored by another clipper company. Something that level 3 doesn't sell, then you could be sponsored. Like a clipper company probably is the next thing. And yeah, that's it, you know. And then the pay, it all depends what the company offers you, you know. There's artists that charge a lot more. There's people like up and coming like me that charges, you know, are able to charge a little bit less. That all depends what your agreement is with the company. But yeah, a contract like that is just based on the content you create, the days you travel with them, and being loyal and making sure that what you're promoting is their brand.
Is this like a long contract? Is 1 year, 3 years, 5 years?
So my
How does it
my
work?
first contract was 6 months. Now I have a year. And then eventually, you know what I'm saying, as we grow and they see the value in you, then they'll give you a bigger contract. Otherwise, they keep you on until it's beneficial for them, I guess, you know, or yourself as well, that you decide, you know what, I don't want to give you a year contract because I don't know what I'm going to do in a year. So it's really like an agreement that you guys have to talk in person and decide what each other's goals is for you to come up with a contract. So it could be a long term, or it could be a short term. You know, it all depends what you agree with the boss or
And do they
whoever.
have a non-competing agreement where, let's say, for whatever reason, it doesn't work and you guys are not together anymore? Do they request you to not be representing another product brand
Oh
for
no,
some time?
once you quit, there might be a certain amount of time that you cannot work with a brand, but after that certain amount of time, then you could continue to work with other brands, you know?
Interesting.
Yeah, so it's pretty cool, you know, but it's like a lot of people thinks that it's easy, but it's really not. It's really not. I travel a lot. You take one day of traveling, you're 3 days on a stage, jumping up and down, talking to people, networking.
Where's the headquarters? I'm
Chicago.
sorry, cutting you. Chicago.
Chicago.
How it is inside? Tell
Oof,
me.
it's
Describe
huge.
to me.
It's a
When you
warehouse.
first walk in.
It's a warehouse. You have the offices. You have the whole display of products. You have the whole warehouse where all the products is, and everything where everything gets delivered from, where everything gets delivered to. And then you have their whole offices, the whole recording room and bathrooms. It's pretty cool, man. It's an experience in there.
How many?
It's nice. It's very motivating. It's like, damn, like, is this a thing? You know, these are things that right before when I started, I never pictured the barbers being this big, you know?
How many employees they have there?
Oh, I have no idea.
No,
But it's
so
probably over like 10 or 15. And it
Wow.
just keeps expanding, you know?
In how many countries are they? Just
Ooh,
here or other countries?
No,
Selling the
like-
products.
like 17 countries, if I'm not
Whoa.
mistaken.
That's huge.
They have another headquarters in Europe. I believe it's Turkey.
And how
Turkey or
many
something like that.
ambassadors? Like it's you and
Oh, ambassadors we just signed. They just signed Rob the Original,
I saw
obviously A-Rod, Los Cut It, Mr. Official, Benji, Barbero Benji, Sky, L'Oreal, Allison from West Palm Beach. We have Drastic. We have
Drastic is from
Lakeland,
Tampa?
something like that, Tampa or something up there. We
Doesn't
have,
he have his own brand of product, Wisdom or something?
no, that's
There's someone else.
that's Stilo.
That's
oh,
Estilo.
okay.
I forgot his
Estilo.
name, but
Yeah,
it's
Estilo.
Estilo Barber.
We have Cassie, I believe is his name from right here, actual Fort Myers. And then we have a lot of other ambassadors out in the other side of the world.
And then when you travel,
No, it's a big team, huge team. It's a huge team.
and then when you travel for these events, what's your role? You're supposed to be on stage and teach.
Yeah, they give you so they set up a schedule, who is going at what time, what you're supposed to do, what you're supposed to present as what are you supposed to educate on, you know, what product, what type of stuff. And yeah, your role is to come network and sell the brand, you know. You're walking around with your little level 3. People ask, yeah, I'm part of level 3, come check us out. We're over there. We're gonna be doing some educational class, you know. We try to bring educational, just like throughout the videos. We try to keep them cool but also educational at the same time, at the contents. Yeah.
I see you are famous. That's how I see you.
Famous.
And what do you like the most to be famous and work for the big brand like Level 3?
What I like the most, it's honestly an experience that I feel that if you get the opportunity, you have to live it. I feel like it's something very nice. You get to travel, you get to meet people, you get to network, you get to put your name known out there. And honestly, once you step one foot in one door, other doors keep opening. Or other doors just automatically keep opening. So it's an experience that you need to be ready to take, you know?
Papi, I see. I know that people see the trophy, the stage, but tell me about the secrets behind the stage. Tell me about the challenge.
The challenges?
That you have right now, being famous barber.
The challenges, man, is those challenges. What I'm telling you, you're giving up your social life because you're either creating content or you're traveling to other cities. You are, trying to master your craft. You're trying to handle your clients, trying to handle the content, trying to handle the travels. So a lot of people don't see it, and a lot of people, oh, that's so cool, I want to be there. It's really not. I feel like it's amazing because it's a blessing, but it's really not how it seems on Instagram. Sometimes you get off work at 7, 8 at night, and you got to catch a plane to be the next day on an event on a city where you don't know nobody. What do you know? You don't know what model you're gonna use. You don't know what people you're gonna run into to finish that event, to catch another plane, to come back home, to continue working on your clients. When you go to these events, are literally running up and down from 9 in the morning to 6 in the afternoon. You get off tired, man. People think that, oh, you're standing on stage looking pretty. It gets you tired because you're in the back of the stage first, prepping your models. You're mentally draining yourself because you got to know what you got to talk about. You gotta smile to the people. You got even if you're having a bad day, you got to be somebody that you're not sometimes. So those are things that a lot of people don't see. That honestly, I just learned how to enjoy the process at this point. I take it as a blessing, because even though it's harder sometimes, it's still a big opportunity that at least I'm honored to be in the position that I am.
It is a blessing. There's a lot of people out there that wish to have in your position right now, but it's hard for you also for relationships too, right? Like having a girl or getting married.
It's hard. Imagine
or getting a lot of friends and hanging out all the time.
That's what I said. Like you give up your social life because a lot of people. First of all, you give up your social life and you lose a lot of clients. A lot of clients. So that's when you start valuing yourself. That's why I tell people. That's when you start valuing yourself and you start realizing that your time is becoming limited. So that's when you start building a new clientele and start charging more and start evolving more. Me, for example, right now I'm charging $100 a haircut. When last year I was only charging $60. But now I have a better space. But now I'm realizing that I'm only able to work Wednesday through Fridays. Right now I'm only able to work those 3 days. Because otherwise I'm either traveling on Saturday to any other place and coming back Monday or Tuesday. Or if I'm here, then Monday and Tuesday I'm creating content the whole day.
Well,
So 2 days just for content creation.
Just for
right?
content creation.
To be at the position you are, you have to sacrifice 2 days
A lot of things
work, of social life, of being with your girlfriend, because you have to work. You have to create content.
And this is something that I just started doing it. I've been doing it even before level 3 to position myself where I'm at today. I pick one day out of the week where I will have an idea in my head, call a model for free. That's another thing that people don't like, giving up haircuts for free. I will call up a model, come in, bro, I'll cut your hair for free, but just let me take some pictures. I'll bring my own clothes, a little jacket, my own camera, my own lights, cut their hair and just position them, take a picture for a few likes. That's how people see it. That's how people see it. Few likes, few comments. But I knew that behind those few likes, few comments, somebody was watching and somebody continues watching, and those things will open you doors.
Like you say now, you're working like 3 days, you said?
3 days.
Guess what? I'm doing the same because for 5 years almost, I was working behind the chair, but that working behind the chair, that physical work wasn't get me further. So I had to step back. Now I'm only work 3 days, Thursdays, Fridays, and Saturdays, so I can create strategies, contents, meetings that I can grow my business, grow myself.
That's the only way to do it. Some people kill themselves behind the chairs, and I tell them, bro, like the day you back off from the chair, the day you're going to make more money and you're going to be more happy. And people are like, how? How? Oh, my God, how you do that? I'm like, if you really want to listen, I'll tell you. But if you're really just going to wipe your ass with this, I won't waste my time.
But before you can actually achieve what you want, during this process of working less behind the chair, creating content, maybe educating yourself to learn new techniques, you had to learn photography to take good pictures, you had to learn how to work on social media. During this process, in the beginning, you feel like you're stepping back. You're not going forward.
You're not going, exactly.
That's
but
the feeling.
that's the process.
That's the feeling. That's the process.
you
You
know,
gotta enjoy the process.
exactly. It takes time.
It
And
takes
sometimes they lose patience. Like, okay, I've been posting on Instagram every day for 3 months and nothing happened. Man, it's just 3 months. It
Yeah.
doesn't happen
Yeah,
that
man. It's
fast, right?
and especially now, it's like I tell a lot of people, how long you been cutting hair for?
20 years,
20 years. I've been cutting hair for 5 years. 6 years now.
6 years.
6 years now. And not that I have achieved more than you, but I have easier ways to getting up there than what you had back in the days. So why not take advantage of it? You get what I'm saying?
Uh-huh.
It's like when me and Lowe's got together, we met and we connected so well, and we've been working a lot. And I'm not going to say I'm in his same position, but I'm delivering very similar content to what he's doing. But it's because I'm taking he wasn't fortunate to have everything we have today. Until today, and today he realized, he's like, yeah, like today, if I was doing this back then when I didn't have nothing, imagine what I could do now.
What do you have to say about for barbers and people in our industry that is not taking advantage of that?
That have not taken advantage of that.
Yep.
Honestly, I can't say much because it depends where you want to go. There's a lot of people that, it's like when you walk into school and you ask them, oh, what's your goal as a barber? Open a barbershop. But it's
Most
because
likely.
a lot of people doesn't realize that there is way more than just opening a barbershop. There's either becoming a content creator, there's either becoming your own boss as owning your own products. There is where you could be an educator and you're traveling the world. There's so many different sources of becoming big on the industry. But a lot of people just see like, oh, I just want to open my barbershop. So it all depends on what you want to achieve. But I would just say is, like I said, my keyword is invest in yourself. But people should know what they should invest in yourself.
I always say that you are your best investment.
Yeah.
And what are your plans for the future? What are you thinking? Like right now, you're representing level 3, you're creating content, you're traveling a lot. So where do you see yourself 5 years, 10 years from now? What's your goals?
A few years ago, one of my goals was being signed by somebody, and now I'm signed. But with this being signed, so many things have come my way that this year I don't have a set goal like, oh my God, this is what I have to do. Because so many opportunities are coming my way, and sometimes things shift that you're like, oh, but I ended up doing this and this wasn't my goal. But that what you ended up doing that wasn't your goal ended up being better than your goal. So at this point, I'm really just open to taking any opportunity that comes my way. I'm really open to just taking everything that's coming my way and grab it. And like we said earlier, it's either win-win. Win a lesson or you win.
Or you win.
So right now, my goal is just to master myself, keep growing as a person, keep growing as a professional, and keep taking all the opportunities that come my way.
That's great. To step up on a stage, you think you have to master your skills, master the subject?
Oh, definitely. I was super antisocial. I was definitely not a talkative person. And now I have to be a talkative
I
person.
remember you were so nervous at the championship,
Yeah.
and now you
Now
great, just doing great.
I'm still working. I'm still working because, like I tell a lot of people, my English is not the best. I speak English. I don't have an accent, or I might have an accent here and there. But there's things that I don't word them right. There's things that are in my head in Spanish, but I can't say them in Spanish. I got to say them in English. So when I translate them, they just don't sound the same. So those are things that you actually gotta, step up and jump out of your comfort zone. I wasn't a person to walk up to a store and shake somebody's hand and be like, hey, how you doing? This is me. I know who you are. Now I do that. I walk up and I see somebody that I know who it is. I walk up to them and shake their hand. Hey, what's up, man? Much respect. This is your person. So when you step on stage, you might be on a higher level, but you still got to see the people the same. When people come talk to you on stage, you got to lower yourself down and talk to the people.
Wow.
You know what I mean?
I love that approach because I'm not a barber, but I've been to all barber events with Tico. And I noticed that barbers that get some popularity, as you said, they start acting different, looking at people different. They maybe feel like they're more and they are not really approachable. And this is not good because
That's the worst thing.
Like-
So
When you
many
don't
doors
look-
shuts down
Yeah.
for you.
When you don't look approachable, that's when your doors start shutting down.
Yes.
So that's why you always got to stay open. You can never, like, I could be PAPI Blends. A lot of people see me different. My life has changed. But me personally, I'll continue to be the same.
But I can tell something about you since we met. So I can see a lot of progress in this approachable thing. I think because you're so shy, you didn't seem so approachable. Not because
Yeah.
you're not, just because you're shy. So even during the events we've been to, you're usually quiet, watching, observing everything, but you're not going there, hey man, how are you? What's your
Yeah.
name? I'm Papi. And now I can see a lot of progress in the way you've been
Yeah, and
developing
it's-
skills to go and, hey man, I don't know you, but my
Yeah.
name is Papi. Let
Yeah.
me introduce
It's a
myself.
lot of things. So that's a thing that I had to develop. And a lot of people, like, kind of changing a little bit. But a lot of people ask me where you get all these models from. I literally hang out in Windward just to pick up models. I go up to people, oh my God, I love your shoes. They're like, oh yeah, thank you, man. But I also love your hair. And I'm a barber. Here's my Instagram. Check me out if you ever need a barber. First haircut is on me. Things like that.
And
So
then
when-
you get good models.
And then you get good models. And people ask how. It's because I go out of my comfort zone and I get these models. It's not that they come and sit in my chair. And they're like, oh, I heard you were cool. Do this to me. No, it's because I go out and I offer and then I give a lot of free stuff. And that goes the same way on the stages. You need to learn how to look approachable and how to make people feel good. Because I'm not on a stage because I'm more than you. Just because, you know, I've been working harder and I've been doing my thing. But it doesn't mean that I'm more than you. So when people come approach me, there's people that just stand on the stage and talk you down. No, I get down and I talk to you. If I can at the moment. If not, I'll shake your hand. I'm like, yo, come back in a little bit. We'll have a conversation. You know? Because it's not about what do you think makes you rich? And I've heard this from a very good friend of mine. He's Bones the Goat. He brings his kids to school every morning and tells them what make you rich.
And ask them what makes you rich, babe.
What makes me rich? So the value I give to things and money is different than the value I give to like purpose of helping people. What makes me rich is being able to help someone.
Exactly.
And at the end, I make money, even
Yeah.
if I don't want to.
Mm-hmm.
Doing a great job and genuine, if this feeling of helping people is really real, you make money at the
There's
end.
no money that pays them. What makes me rich is being better every day, like with my wife as a husband, as a dad, because I don't have a kid, but I have Sophia, my dog.
Sophia.
As an educator, the more I learn, the more information, knowledge, and the more connection we have with people, I can just share.
Yeah.
You know, that's what makes me
So
rich too.
Bones the Goat, he drops off his kid every morning. He's like, Cody, what makes you rich? His kid responds, how I treat people.
Wow.
Yeah.
How I
that's
treat
powerful.
people. Because it's true, man. You could walk into a store and there can be somebody completely smiling, but there's so much hidden things behind that smile. You don't know what's going on in a person's life
Or what they've been through,
or what they've been through.
experiences.
So by treating somebody nice, you could fix anybody's day. Imagine
That's
giving a hug to a stranger that just comes randomly and tells you, can I get a hug? You know you could save that person's life.
Share the story that happened to you the day you were walking,
yeah.
Sophia. Share this story.
I was walking Sophia outside of my complex, and I was in the walkway going towards the gas station, and I looked to the side, and there was this guy. He was crying, like almost like mumbling, and I look at him with a half of eyesight like this, and he was crying. But when I look at him, he looked at me, and he saw me look at him, and he said hi. I said hi, and then I approached, and I start making questions only. And when I did the first question, he started throwing at me what he was going through with his kid, with his ex-wife, his financial life, and he was crying. He just dropped, man, everything on the floor, everything in my arms. And I was there for him, you know. I was, and then I told him I was a barber. I had a barber shop down the street. And then he shared he was a barber. Guess what? Everything that we spoke that day, and then he sent me a message. Thank you so much for the positive words and for sharing what you shared with me today.
How you felt after that?
No money can pay.
So that makes you that makes you feel rich.
That makes me feel really. When I saw the message, that makes me feel really rich.
That makes you feel amazing.
Amazing.
So sometimes people, oh no, you're rich. Yeah. During COVID, how many people had so much money they couldn't do anything about it?
You know what makes me rich today? Inviting you here, and you come from Miami, and when you knock the door, and when I open, you're with a smile.
Of course.
You know?
Happy to be here, man.
Papi, if there was one thing to say, one thing that will change many barbers' mindset to help lift them, like give them a lift, one thing to say, what would be?
What would be? Damn, that's a hard one, man.
To
There's so
change
many.
their lives, any tip, any idea?
There's so
any-
many things, man. Honestly, man, stay true to yourself. I feel like staying true to yourself, believing in yourself, and not counting with too many opinions will take you to the next level. The moment I stopped counting with so many opinions is when my life took off.
Me the same.
The moment you start around, it's like, yo, what do you think about this? Yo, what do you think about this? What do you think about that? What do you think about that? But you're not believing in actual you, you're messing up. You're not believing in your opinion. It's like that picture I showed you. To a lot of people, it's like, oh, that's too much. To me, it's fine.
For me,
And I'm
it's
going to post
fire.
it. And I'm going to post it, and what? It's because you got to believe in yourself.
Yes.
You got to stay true to yourself. So the moment, it's not about cutting your circle, because you could keep your circle. It's just don't be asking for too many opinions. You have 2 or 3 people that you share your stuff with, but I'm not asking for opinions. This is what I'm going to do. I'm telling you what I'm going to do. I'm not telling you, should I do it? You know what I mean? So I believe that you staying true to yourself and believing on your vision and believing in yourself will take you a long way.
Wow. Today, this was a master class.
Hey, we
here.
talked for an hour and a half. Oh, no, an hour 16.
So we're here almost 10.
But it's okay, man. It's
I
always
want to
good.
ask you something about this ambassador, educator life. So you probably have someone that you say, oh my God, I really want to meet this guy. He's like my role model. Being an ambassador for a big brand, who was this person that when you met, you were like shaking, oh my God, I can't believe I'm meeting in person this guy. I've been,
So who I could say that? Because I have met everybody already, and it was cool to meet, everybody. I've shared time with the biggest names in the industry. But since I was becoming a content creator and all that stuff, when I met Los Cut It, because Los Cut It is not a barber that just started right now when Instagram started. He's coming doing DVDs back in the days.
Whoa.
Yeah, he has like 2 blueprints. He has 2 different. He's been an amazing content creator since ever he started. So as I signed with the company, and right before even I signed with the company, I've just kept getting inspired by his job and his photography and his skills, the way he delivered. So the moment I met him, and mind you, the moment I met him, it was meeting to do a collaboration for Level 3. So I was like, yo, what? I literally got intimidated. I didn't have much in my head. I was just like, wow, like this is, because you know what? Like I feel like I should say this, but there was a time in like last year when I signed with Level 3, I found myself in a position that I didn't know who I was. Because as soon as I signed with Level 3, that was right after I stopped counting with so many opinions.
Whoa.
I was like, I'm going to do this, I'm going to do that, I'm going to do that. Get signed with Level 3. Level 3 puts me on a tour with 6 different cities. 6 different cities, 3 weekends back to back. So right there, I'm catching a plane. Clients start leaving me. Clients start literally ghosting me. I didn't know what I was doing. I was coming back home and I was like, yo, like, what is this? Like, what's going on? I didn't know what to do. Right after the 6, and then in between the tour, I had shows to attend with level 3, and then videos to do here, and finding time for content, and people leaving me, and people, oh, like, what the hell? Now you think you're big shit. Now you want to leave us? Blah blah. I'm gonna find a new barber. Arguing with barbers, with clients, and trying to figure it out. It got to a point where I didn't know what to do. You know. So it was a thing that where I was like, damn, who am I? You know. So Don, it was, but it's a cool experience. You know, it's so amazing.
Wow. This was
A lot of people make you question yourself. I think if you hear anyone talking about their journey, they have a moment where they will be questioning themselves, like,
Yeah,
did I make the right decision?
exactly.
Is
You
this
will
right
always
for
anything
me?
you do. Am I right for being here, sitting today?
And then people
You know what I mean?
sometimes come with these comments, not so nice comments. Ah, who do you think you are? You're a celebrity now. Now you're rich. You don't want to take care of your clients anymore. And Tico had to listen to this a lot of times when he decided to open his
Barbershop.
own
Yeah.
barbershop. And then when he became an educator, people, his clients started like, hey, Tico, you're never available. What's going on with you? You're rich already. No,
I think-
I'm
Yeah.
working
I
on my
think there's
dream.
always going to be cycles
Always.
that you're going to have to make better choices on those cycles
Of
when those
course.
cycles end, right?
Yeah. I've gotten those comments from my own family. My own family on a post on Facebook. Oh, now you're too rich to even talk to your family. It's just like, now you're too famous to talk to your family. It's like, it's not that I'm famous. It's not that I am bigger than you. I'm busy.
You know
I've
what?
gotten here because I've stayed busy. And the more you get there, the more busy you are. You tell me now. First, you own a barbershop. You were able to take care of all your clients. Now you own this. Now you're educating. You want to be the whole time in your barbershop, but you can't because you got to make time for what's going to keep you growing and growing and growing. So it doesn't mean that you changed. It means that your life changed. It means that your priorities change. It means that you're growing and you're seeing the value in yourself, and all you want to do is keep growing and growing and growing. And that takes sometimes backing off from your social life and backing off from people and cutting people off.
And the more you grow, the more people you can add to others, you know?
Yeah.
And you know, one thing I did in my life, I noticed that people have to put a title on you. Things that they couldn't achieve, and they have to put a title on you to justify what they didn't achieve in
What
life.
they didn't achieve.
Meaning, he is rich, he doesn't have time for me. Things like his family is now,
You know,
so they title you.
you know what people have asked me that have more followers than me and been a barber longer? They're like, why are you in that position and I am not?
Maybe
No
because
way.
you work harder or smarter than them then.
People have came at me as soon as I signed with level 3. Not even asked me like, hey, bro, like, damn, that's cool. Like how you did it. Like, what can you? No, why are you there? And how? And why am I not there?
Wow.
And I just looked at them and I'm like, I don't know, bro.
How can you ask something like that?
I'm like, I don't know. Look at yourself in the mirror and ask yourself the question.
There is a story I heard about an experiment they did with monkeys. So they got 3 monkeys, put them in a cage, and then on the top of the cage they put a banana. And whenever the monkey tried to climb and get the banana, they would spray a very strong water. How do you say?
Like
Jato?
the fire hose.
Uh-huh.
that with the
Yeah. And
jack.
then the monkey tried one time, water. He tried the second time, water. He tried the third time, water. So he decided, you know what? It's better if I don't try to climb again. And then they removed, actually they added a new monkey to the group. So the whole group saw that, okay, if you climb and try to get the banana, water on your face. So they bring a new monkey to the group that didn't know about the experiment. He was new there. And the first thing he did, oh, a banana, let me climb and get it. And the monkeys were watching the monkey like, oh my God, what he's gonna do, right? When he climbed and got the banana, they didn't spray water on him. You know what happened when he goes down with the banana on his hands? The other monkeys start fighting and like punching him because they were like,
Smacking it.
jealous because he was able to get the banana. So in this situation, that's what happened to you.
Yeah.
These other barbers were watching you. They couldn't get their banana, and you went there and got it. And now they're jealous. They want to,
And
fight.
it sucked. I felt very sad when they came and asked me that,
Yeah, for sure.
because I was like, damn, like that's the type of people that we have in this industry.
They should be happy for you, right?
Be happy,
Yeah.
yeah.
Hey,
I hope they were happy as me,
congratulations.
but I hope they were happy. But with that question, I was like, damn, like it shows me that, you know what I'm saying, a lot of people don't really care about your success. That's why I stay true to yourself. Don't
Stay
count too
true to
many
yourself
opinions.
and
You,
keep
the
doing
moment
what
you
you-
start asking people don't care, you know what I'm saying? They just want to know why you got there, and that I want to be there too.
What I have to say to finish is keep doing what you're doing. I've been seeing you educate yourself since, way back then. And one thing I have to say is all the answers for your questions, that's I really take for true in my life. All the answers for your questions are education. So
Thank you,
again,
man.
to finish, man, thank you very much. It was an amazing talk. An amazing experience with you. Was a master class.
No, this was cool, man. I've never done one of these, so there might things that I messed up a little bit. You know what I'm saying?
You
But
did great.
Thank you
could-
for sharing so many details about
But we
your
can
life.
leave this as it is. I don't care. You know, we're being natural, having a conversation, but again, thank you guys. Again, congratulations. You know, Black Belt Barber podcast. This is amazing. I probably haven't seen this much. You know, and if there has been, people gave up. So I say, man, don't give up. This is your goal. You already know how it goes. So sometimes it might take time. Sometimes it might take a longer than you expect for it to kick off. But just stay consistent. Just true to yourself and
Thank you
keep
for
it going, man.
accepting, and thank you for coming to the Black Belt Barber
Oh,
podcast.
yeah, of course, always.
And I wish you success and prosperity in your
Thank
life.
you, man.
And for everybody else that are watching.
And I
us
hope
right
this is
now.
not the last time you have me here. I'll have another story for next time I'm here.
Think about it. Nah, it was a great conversation. I learned a lot. I was sitting here as a student. So I wish you
we're all students, always.
success and prosperity.
Thank you, man.
Thanks, man.